Boy, do I have a treat for you. A beach classic, a Billboard, Arthur Alexander. Soul man, soul country pioneer. Not very big, but covered his songs covered by a lot of people. A legend. Arthur Alexander actually was inducted into the Alabama Music Hall of Fame in 1990. Yes, Arthur Alexander on Billboard's Hot 100, October 23rd, 1975. Let me bring it up for you right now. Coming in at number 45, up 7 from 52. Billboard's Hot 100. And before I get into that, just for perspective, I'll give you the top 5 hits from that week real quick. Of October 25th, 1975. They Just Can't Stop It, The Games People Play by the Spinners at number 5. Lion Eyes by the Eagles at number 4. Miracles by Jefferson Starship at number 3. I'm Sorry by John Denver at number 2. And making an amazing comeback in 1974 and 1975, Neil Sedaka was on a roll with his comeback. Bad Blood at number 1 that week, October 25th, 1975. He also wrote Captain and Tennille's Love Will Keep Us Together. Actually did the original version of that record. Was friends with Captain and Tennille. But anyway, let's go to Arthur Alexander. Every Day I Have to Cry some. And believe this, here's the thing about this record. This is 60s, baby. It sounds like something out of, take any year, basically any year out of the mid to late 60s. 1964, 63, 66, 67. Sounds like it could be any one of those years that song came out. Definitely got that 60s soul. It's embedded so deep in that record. You're listening to this record, they're saying, here's the new record by Arthur Alexander. You're like saying, oh man, this sounds, this song's like from the 60s, man. But no, it came out in 1975, his version. But let's go back on Arthur Alexander from Sheffield, Alabama. Yes, sir, Sheffield, Alabama. That's way up in North Alabama, about 3 or 4 hours from here, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He is an Alabama-bred man, for sure. That's right. And 1960, he released his first record off the Judd record label. Judd record label ran by Judd Phillips, brother of Sam Phillips. Record was called Sally Sue Brown. That was in 1960. And then 1962, You Better Move On. His classic. One of his classics, covered by loads of people. I think the Beatles covered it. Rolling Stones, a lot of people covered that record. Recorded at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. A tobacco warehouse, an old tobacco warehouse converted into a recording studio produced by Rick Hall. You Better Move On. Late 1961, early 1962. That went to number 24 on Billboard's Hot 100. Another song that came out after that, Set Me Free, which was covered by Esther Phillips and Joe Tex. And in 1962, Steve Alamo, I'll just pronounce it as Alamo, he covered a record that Arthur Alexander wrote called Every Day I Have to Cry. He covered it. Arthur Alexander did not record a version at the time, but Steve Alamo did. His version went to number 46 on Billboard's Hot 100. Dusty Springfield also covered that record as well on an EP. Arthur Alexander, though, he ran into some hard times. He signed a recording deal, and my goodness, I can't, this looks like my notes are all over the board. I wrote tons of notes, just scribbled stuff down. I think it's Soundstages 7 or something like that. He signed a deal with in the mid-60s and worked on an album for Warner Brothers in 1972, but off of Buddha Records in 1975, he finally got around to recording his version of Every Day I Have to Cry song. And after that, I didn't know this. Now, this blows me away. And by the way, the Steve Alamo version of Every Day I Have to Cry, the Bee Gees heard it. And they recorded a version of it. Very obscure, though, in the mid-60s. They were just teenagers. This was before they got big, when they recorded their version of it. But after Arthur Alexander's version of Every Day I Have to Cry song, he came out with another record, Sharing the Night Together. That song was written by a couple of Muscle Shoals songwriters. Muscle Shoals, Alabama, baby. But it wasn't a hit for Arthur Alexander. But it was a hit for Dr. Hook and the Mezzin Show in 1978. It was a top 10 hit for them. I didn't know that Arthur Alexander had written that song. Not well, had originally recorded it. Anyway, inducted into the Alabama Music Hall of Fame in 1990. My goodness. Let's go to Billboard's Hot 100, October 23rd, 1975. Every Day After Cry Summit, number 45, up 7 from 52. It peaked at 45. That should have been a big hit. I mean, you dunk this part, this song. Here's the thing. I don't know if I mentioned this or not. This is a beach classic. Dunk this thing in between something like Under the Boardwalk by the Drifters or Be Young, Be Foolish by the Tams. Now you got yourself a perfect beach set right there. Arthur Alexander on Billboard's Hot 100. That song was on Billboard's Hot 100, by the way, for 9 weeks.